Hello everyone, my name is Sudhir. I am from Agri Lifeline company. So I am the director of the company. Here today we are in Krishi Vijnana Kendra Hirehalli, which is near Tumkur, and this particular place wherein we are, so here we are into the installation of a 10,000 litre capacity Surabhi Jeeva Sudha unit. So Surabhi Jeeva Sudha is a very special natural farming related fertilizer production unit. So regarding which I'll be taking you through more and more information today in this video. Now we'll be moving on to how this particular unit is going to work and what are the ingredients that it will be put. The very first component that the set of items we have created here, or we have kept it here. So the very first item that we will be putting is Desi cow dung. So when I say Desi cow dung, it has to be from an Indian breed cow, because that has something called as Surya Nadi on its back. So that is very important, because that is a part that captures the cosmic rays of the sun and that provides the same ingredients or the components of that in three various items that we normally get. One is a cow dung, other is a cow urine, and one more is the milk, so with which we have prepared the buttermilk. So likewise, if we see the ingredients that will be fed to the Jeevamruta unit, is the very first thing is Desi cow dung, Desi cow urine. This is called as the activated culture, mother culture. So we, along with this unit, would have provided 5 liters of the culture, which will have to be activated. The microbials or microorganisms in that culture will be in the passive form, which needs to be activated to 100 liters. A small part of it is something has been kept here. The next item is the organic jaggery. So this is also important. We suggest not to put chemical jaggery because that may affect the microorganisms inside. Next is rice washed water. So during installation, so we ask farmers to put 150 liters of rice washed water, because that contains a large amount of starch, which acts as a very good food for the microorganisms. In case if you don't get 150 liters of rice washed water, we can put 1:5 ratio of rice flour kept a day before. So 30 kgs of rice flour has been prepared in near about 150 liters of water since yesterday, and today we are adding that to the Jeevamruta unit. Apart from that is the buttermilk. This is again organic buttermilk, which is prepared out of the organic milk, or the A2 milk that we call it as. Other important ingredients that needs to be added to this particular unit is moringa leaves. Moringa leaves acts as a very good nutrient, and when we get the final output, so there would be a lot of beneficial microbes that comes because of this. Also, some of the waste fruits or waste vegetables is also that can be added, along with banana stem. Banana stem acts as a very important ingredient. We request all the farmers to put banana stem. We will be able to provide you with the quantity that you need to add it. Along with all this, we also suggest you to cut the vegetables or the fruits to 1 inch thickness, because whatever the pipe that we have provided is a 3-inch pipe, and 1 inch of any of these units items can easily enter the digester. That is very important. Along with all these ingredients, one more ingredient that you should consider adding it is wood ash. Okay, so wood ash is another ingredient which goes through a completely anaerobic digestion, and it adds one very important micronutrient called as boron in your Jeevamruta. So I request all the farmers to consider adding wood ash, and we would be able to provide you with the quantity that needs to be added during installation and after 50 days. So we have seen how the installation is done, and we have also given you the details about all the ingredients, and here we are giving 6,000 liters of input. So this is a 10,000 liter capacity unit, for which 6,000 liters of input to be given immediately after installation. The very first product, that is Desi cow dung, is already been fed in a 200 liter barrel, and likewise, so 30 barrels of input, that totals to 6,000 liters that will be given. So here we will be going ahead with all the ingredients that will be fed to the system. Having seen the installation and also the ingredients that's already been given to the unit, so now we will get on to the actual working of this particular unit. So before even that, we should understand what is Jeevamrita all about. So Padma Shri Subhash Palekar introduced the Jeevamrita for the very first time. So here you can see the barrel that is Jeevamrita unit that earlier used to be prepared in a 200-litre barrel with 10 kgs of Desi Cow dung, 10 litres of Desi Cow urine, 2 kgs of jaggery, 2 kgs of the flour, and near about a kg of soil, to which Jeevamrita was given, to a specific form of land, to a specific form in fact. So when we look at a comparison between conventional Jeevamrita and the unit here, so let's look at what are those differences. That's a 7-day process, and the labor requirement is also quite high there. So because early, either in the morning, afternoon, evening, or morning, evening, so the clockwise direction, whatever the rotation should have been done by a labor or by the farmer himself. But when we look at this, so this doesn't require any kind of a rotation. So this is an anaerobic process. Once we give the output and take the output and give the input, the day's work is over then and there. That's a 7-day process. Every time you need to wait for 7 days. But here in this unit, you'll have to wait only first time for 50 days. And post 50 days, every day output you can take, and at the same time every day you'll have to feed the unit as well. So that's one of the major difference. Apart from that, as I mentioned to you, so that's an aerobic process, this is an anaerobic process. The quality of Jeevamrita that comes out of this particular unit is something very, very different. Apart from that, if we look at the differences, so the number of ingredients that we give it to conventional Jeevamrita is pretty limited, whereas here we also give waste vegetables, waste fruits, farm waste. All of that is going to be completely decomposed because of the culture that we would have given. So that decomposes even the last, the fiber content that's called as lignin, and even that gets partially decomposed, and over a period of time even that gets decomposed. So apart from that, what you get here out of this unit is a water soluble quality of Jeevamrita which doesn't require any kind of filtration, whereas in the conventional process that will be quite thick and that requires a lot of filtration before you even give it through drip or venturi or any other irrigation method. Otherwise the drip may get blocked as well. So these are many differences when we look at the process, and so as I mentioned to you, the quantity of ingredients that needs to be given for the first time. Post 50 days, this requires very, very small quantity of inputs like 10 kgs of cow dung, 5 liters of cow urine, 5 kgs of jaggery. So likewise, it's a very, very small set of ingredients that required on a day-to-day basis for producing the required quality of Jeevamrita. So in the last video, we have effectively dealt how the installation has to be done, and it is very, very simple. So the video link of that installation video will also be there in this description, and you can just follow that particular video for the installation. That's very, very easy in fact. So if we look at another important question that comes to our mind is, this being a plastic product, can this or will this not release microplastics to your soil? But the answer is no. So the mulching paper that you use, that the farmers use in their farms, that normally releases microplastics because that is of just 40 to 50 micron. But whereas this is 1200 micron, and at the same time, in order to release microplastics, there are a few requirements at a material end. So either that there has to be some sort of abrasion or some serious chemical activity that may release microplastics. But as none of those things take place here, so this product will not release any microplastics to the soil. Apart from that, so we also were talking about one another important aspect, that in a conventional Jeevamrita it is a aerobic process, but at the same time this is an anaerobic process. And so when the Jeevamrita is let out, will the anaerobic microbes, will it not get exposed to aerobic process, and will it not die in the when it is exposed to sunlight? Absolutely not. As in, So what happens is the culture that will be given to the unit, so those set of microorganisms are called as facultative anaerobes. So facultative anaerobes are those set of bacteria that can thrive in both with oxygen or even without oxygen kind of environment. So as and when there is Jivamrita that is fed, the mother culture is fed to the unit, and it ensures the complete digestion of whatever raw material that is being given, and whatever the Jivamrita that you get consists of all those micronutrients, and it starts building microbial colonies in the soil, giving you a fantastic yield. So you might be thinking that what is going to be the duration with which you can keep this particular Jivamrita outside once you take it as output. So if you see, the lifespan of that particular Jivamrita is merely just 4 days or 5 days max. At 4th or the 5th day, either you should be giving this Jivamrita to your soil, or you should be able to add some more jaggery to that, so that you can expand or extend the life of those microorganisms. At the same time, you might also have one more question that I think of, that conventional Jivamrita is an aerobic process, whereas Surabhi Jeeva Sudha is an anaerobic process. But at the same time, when do we think about microorganisms surviving once it comes out of this particular unit? Then that's a real question, right? So wherein any bacteria that is coming out of this Jivamrita unit, it is said that it starts building microbial colonies, and that colony stays for easily around 6 months to a year. That means that the microorganisms that is given as in the form of mother culture is considered as facultative anaerobes. Facultative anaerobes are a species which can thrive easily in both the environments, with oxygen, without oxygen. So when we look at the conventional Jivamrita and the microorganisms coming out of that, the research says that can stay in the soil for just 15 to 16 days only. But whereas coming out of this unit may not be the same microorganism stays for 6 months or a year, but whenever that dies, somebody else take care of that particular position, and the microbial activity keeps on processing in the soil for easily up to 1 year. So the cost of this particular unit, the MRP of this unit is 52,000 rupees, but as a special discount to farmers, we sell this at 45,600 rupees. In order to get the details about the price of various other units that we have, so we request you to call us on the number that will be shared. Here I have brought to you all to our older unit that is in KVK Jivamrita, which I had told very initially in this video that KVK Hirehalli already had installed 2500 liter capacity unit, and this is that unit. Why I have brought you here is to show you the way the Jivamrita quality is all about. And this particular unit is already dispersing Jivamrita since almost 8 to 10 months now. The one that we have installed now will easily take another 50 days to show you the Jivamrita. So that's the reason I have brought you all to witness this particular Jivamrita quality. So this is how the Jivamrita would look like, and this would easily go through without filtration, through drip, through sprinkler, through any of the irrigation systems. And at the same time, I also would like to show you the Venturi system. So how this would be easily can be given in the form. So this particular system is called as Venturi system, and any of the drip irrigation vendors will be able to help you install this particular Venturi system. And Venturi system comes with a pipe and a ball valve, and this particular ball valve also has a strainer. So whatever the strainer that it filters, so it would easily be able to share it with drip and sprinkler as well. So by installing this system and inserting this particular ball valve into the drum, so this will ensure the moment the valve is open of the motor, whatever the water that will be going in the main pipe, it will also suck the Jivamrita from the barrel, and it will be giving along with that. With this, what happens is 1:10 dilution will be straight away observed, and you get the best of the best yields.